Love song. Not another love song. Love song. Not another love song. Love song. Not another love song.
Because if y'all didn't know, I did recently have my second born. I didn't get to even do a hospital bag video or none of the other couple of little videos that I wanted to do before having him, because he decided that he was just gonna come on out on his like 36 week. So yeah. I'm also gonna give y'all a story time on that situation, because it was a really kind of like overwhelming, sort of stressful delivery and labor. So I didn't vlog or get a lot of footage of my labor and delivery for him like I did with my first baby. So I'm gonna just give y'all an update on that, because yeah, his labor and delivery was most definitely a entirely different experience, like completely different. But right now both of the boys are asleep. Jameer has doctor's appointments today, because since he was considered premature and came early, they did want him to get a doctor's appointment 2 days after he was discharged. So today makes the second day. So we have to go to the doctor this morning. So right now I'm just gonna get ready before my mom gets back. Take us to the doctor. Oh, y'all, I'm so tired. I'm on my head. I just woke up, and then I'm gonna have to feed him real quick before I even get us ready. Well, I'm gonna get myself ready. Then I'm gonna wake Jalen up and get him ready. Well, I'm gonna get his brother ready first. Y'all, this getting two kids ready thing's new to me. It's new to me. But I'm letting it. We just gonna go ahead and get it done. Yeah, he look like he finna get fussy over there. So let me go ahead and get him something to eat real quick before I get us ready. Yeah, so we just made it back. I just fed both of them some breakfast. Well, yeah, he was on a tick and he ate his breakfast and is drinking his milk, and of course watching his cartoons. Like I said, once I get them down and situated, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know how my labor and stuff went and things like that. Get off my phone. Scam like is calling me and stuff. I don't know why they be irritating me so much. Y'all need to stop letting that do that. But yeah, so once I get them settled down, don't do that. I'm gonna go ahead and, get out. Oh goodness, y'all, I am tired. I'm probably gonna take a nap with them. So, but that's gonna be later on today, because it's still pretty early. I think it's like just what, gonna be 12 o'clock. Yo, about 12:30. But yeah, so he's probably gonna go to sleep now that he ate, because that's all he do. So yeah, y'all, had my Virgo a couple of days ago, well, a few days ago now. And I ain't finna get too much into it, because like I said, y'all gonna get the little gist of how it all went down in the next clip. So, I'm just gonna eat me some nachos. Well, I actually been eating me some nachos. Y'all can tell I'm full, big and full. Well, I'm getting full. Once I finish this, I'm probably gonna take me a nap. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm tired. But and then I'm probably gonna get some work done, and then do that video for y'all tonight. So yeah. What's down, fam? Good morning, guys. So yeah, it's a whole new day. If y'all can't tell, I was gonna do. Excuse me. I was gonna do the my little story time with my labor and delivery last night, but after putting the boys to sleep and finishing some of my assignments for class, I was just like, I'm gonna just relax, watch my show, and go to sleep, because they were asleep. And eventually, my firstborn Jalen ended up waking up like around 3 in the morning, and he watched cartoons. So he's now still currently asleep, because he catching up on the sleep he done missed when he woke up at 3 a.m. and didn't go back to sleep until like 5, I think. He might went back to sleep around like 6. But excuse me, y'all. Oh my goodness. And my second born, of course, he wakes up in the middle of the night to eat. So I had to feed him throughout the night, which he actually didn't wake up that many times to eat a lot. Like, well, he didn't wake up crying. Let me say that, because I still had to get him up, even if he still tried to sleep after 3 hours. I did go ahead and just get him up and feed him anyway. So he'll be a week tomorrow. He was considered premature because, as you guys know, or if you didn't know, my due date was set to be September 27th, but they were going to induce me September 20th if he hadn't come on his own. So basically, my due date was really September 20th because that's when they had me set to be induced for a C-section anyway, or just they were just going to induce my labor period. So yeah, he didn't make it that far to wait for the inducement date. He was not trying to wait, I guess, because he definitely decided to come last week. Well, actually, how it happened, I started having really bad contractions. And at first I was thinking, they could be Braxton Hicks. This could definitely be nothing. But as they started to gradually start coming more, I was like, I don't care if these even Braxton Hicks. Like, get me to the hospital. They're going to have to give me something for this because it's starting to get painful. So even if I don't have him today, which I wasn't expecting to start to happen because I was like, dang, it's still kind of early. So, like, even if I don't have him, at least let them give me something, some pain medicine, something that's safe for me to take. Because, y'all, I wasn't taking Tylenol. I wasn't taking ibuprofen. I wasn't taking no pain medicine while I was pregnant because, I was told it wasn't good to take pain medicines and stuff like that. So, I was like, I need to go to the doctor. They need to do something. Because I can't take painkillers. They need to do something. But when I got there, we sat there for a while. They hooked me up to a monitor to watch his heartbeat and my contractions. And the doctor came in and she was just like, you're definitely having a lot of contractions and stuff like that. They even tried to see if my contractions was due to me being dehydrated. They made me drink 2 cups of cold water and like 4 apple juices, and it didn't help. Once they realized, they was like, okay, she didn't finish all of this, even ate some ice, and these contractions are still coming. They sort of realized, okay, yeah, your body is starting to be in active labor. And at first they were going to just try to stop it, like stop my labor. And his heart rate, depending on like the way I lay, his heart rate was starting to act iffy. And then they did an ultrasound to kind of weigh out, because they were saying that from the looks at the contraction and the way his heart rate, it looks like they're possibly going to have to deliver him. So they wanted to do an ultrasound just to try to weigh out some things and see if they can just go ahead and just kind of push my labor off to a later date, like it was supposed to be. But when they looked at the ultrasound, the doctor was concerned because his abdomen, or like his diaphragm, when he was breathing, it was moving, but it wasn't moving like it should. She was saying, like, it wasn't like, how once you get to the end, basically she was saying your baby starts to practice breathing in there. So it wasn't, his diaphragm wasn't expanding and going back like it supposed to be. It was only doing it really little. So they were concerned that he wasn't going to be breathing right and something was going to be an issue. So she came back and she was like, look, we're going to definitely have to have a birthday today. Like, we're going to have to deliver him. She did let me know that there was a possible chance that he would have to be in the NICU because he was 36 weeks. Of course, I was just praying and, praying that he didn't have to. Even though I knew there would be a slight chance, I was just praying to God that he wouldn't have to and stuff like that. So I was in labor with him for 24 hours, just an hour longer than I was in my first baby. One thing I can say I'll probably never do again, they ended up, to get me to start dilating, to get me to start dilating, they had used this balloon method on me, which, mind you, with my first baby, when I needed to dilate, they just used medicine through an IV. But they wanted to use some balloon method. Me just being me, I should have looked it up and was like, hold on, they mean, well, before I just let y'all do anything, I'm thinking they the doctors, they know what they doing. I'm just, okay, that's cool. So they did the balloon method or whatever, and basically the balloon, it goes in your uterus, and when it goes in your uterus, the water in the balloon is supposed to expand to make your uterus open up. So I took a nap with it in me after a while, and then I woke up and I felt extremely wet down there. So I asked the nurse, it's supposed to feel this wet, and she was like, let me check. It probably means the balloon's bust, and it's you dilated some, because that's what it's supposed to do. Like the balloon's supposed to pop once you dilate enough. Girl, it was blood, tons, lots of blood with blood clots and everything. I honestly was highly upset once I noticed it, and like the nurse, when she looked at it, she was like, oh, yeah, let me go get the doctor. And that's what really just made me like, see, I shouldn't even let these motherfuckers do this shit. I should have just told them if there's a way for me to just do the medicine through the IV, which they ended up having to do anyway. Let me mention that. After the doctors came in and seen all the blood, they decided to take it out, and they were just like, okay, we're not gonna deal with this. It just made me mad because I'm just like, bro, I shouldn't even be bleeding right now. I'm supposed to be bleeding at the end once he come out, and I'm bleeding because I let y'all put this balloon in me, and I'm thinking y'all know what y'all doing, and my body basically said, hell no, fuck this balloon, grow what the fuck. So I was really upset about that a little bit. But they ended up having to give me the medicine anyway. The balloon did make me dilate to 3 centimeters, which I was already 1 centimeter, so it just made me dilate to 3. Um, so they ended up giving me the medicine and stuff like that, and we were in there being monitored, of course. And yeah, oh, and my mom was in there with me, so I wasn't by myself or anything. My mom, she was there with me during my whole labor delivery process, and I'm so glad she was there. Cause me, I'm gonna be honest, um, I don't know why, but I can be a people pleaser. Sometimes I can refrain from telling people no, cause I feel like maybe I don't know why I do that, but I need to start telling people no more. But sometimes I don't. And I'm glad my mama was there, because one thing with my mama, she gonna put her foot down when it comes behind her kids. She gonna ask questions that I didn't even think to answer. Of course, she was asking them because that's my mama, and she wasn't gonna play behind her baby and her grandbaby. So I'm really glad that my mom was there with me. Um, but yeah, the blood just, it really threw me for a loop when that happened, y'all. And it was so many blood clots. Like I was just, I was, But yeah, eventually, when they put the medicine in the IV for me, I eventually started dilating. But his heart rate started to become more and more of a concern the more I started dilating, because the medicine that makes you dilate, it also speeds up your contractions. So I ended up getting the epidural, of course, because epidural saved my life. With my first baby, I couldn't feel nothing. So I didn't know that my contractions were getting so close after I took the epidural, because of course I couldn't feel nothing. Baby, I couldn't even feel my legs. But they came in and they was like, yeah, your contractions, they're like 2 minutes apart now. And I'm just sitting here like, ooh, thank goodness I can't feel them, because I know they would be treacherous right now. I would be in here screaming. But but that also caused for concern with the baby, because the more my contractions started, the doctors started rushing, and it was like, we're gonna have to try to hurry up and get him out of here, because your contractions are becoming so close together. It's like, it looks like they're squeezing him or something, and it's making him upset. So they had to hurry up and try to get me to push him, and I went to pushing, because once she said that, I was concerned. I'm like, I didn't come this far to possibly lose my baby. Like, I was worried. But I pushed him out, and that last push I gave with all my might. Cause usually when you push, every 10 seconds. Then you push like for 10 seconds, then you breathe, then you push again. That last push, once I had seen a look on the doctor's face, and she was saying that they may have to vacuum out to hurry up and get him out of me. That whole last push, I pushed for 20 seconds straight. I was not gonna stop. Like, let me hurry up and push him up out of here, because I can't lose him. Like, I cannot. So he came, I pushed him out. He was 5 pounds 9 ounces. When he first came out, he wasn't crying. That's the first thing I said. I was like, he is not crying. Like, they laid him on my chest, and I'm like, he is not crying. His eyes are, but he is not crying. So then they, pat his butt or whatever. And then next thing you know, they called for the neonatal nurses, which is other nurses that work in the NICU. So they had came down, and the stress from the labor and my contractions, he was breathing really really fast, like, but yeah, he was breathing really really fast, like as if like if you were drowning, and when you finally get from drowning and you trying to catch your breath, like that's how he was breathing, and his nose was flaring a lot. So that caused the concern for them, so they ended up having to take him to the NICU. Plus he was 36 weeks, so they just wanted to make sure he definitely wasn't having any breathing issues. He did get a little fluid in his lungs that they ended up having to suck out and stuff like that. I was so worried, y'all. Like, I just remember staring, like, while they was working on him right in front of me, and I was just laying there, just got done pushing him, and the other lady was cleaning me up. I was just staring at him and them clean him up. Like, I'm telling my mama, get over there. Like, she was checking on him, then she came over here by me. I'm like, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. Go look at him because it sounds like they might have to take him down to the NICU, which they did. It'll have to take him down to the NICU, which really broke my heart because I did not want to have him to go to the NICU. I wanted him to have to stay in the room with me and my mama, like my firstborn was in the room. And if y'all didn't see my labor and delivery vlog for my firstborn, go look at that one. But yeah, so yeah, they ended up taking him to the NICU. He was only in there for a total of 56 hours, and I'm just glad that that was all, honestly, because I was scared that he may have to be in there longer, and I would have to spend a lot of time without him, especially when they discharged me from the hospital, and that's what I really didn't want. But so yeah, while I was in the hospital, in my postpartum room, every chance that I get, if I wasn't eating, if I wasn't up there eating my lunch or eating my breakfast or up there asleep, I was downstairs in the NICU. I was taking my butt down there to sit in there with my baby, trying to breastfeed him, just trying to hold him and everything. And honestly, it was hard at first, especially when he had all of the wires connected to him. It was very hard dealing with seeing him like that because it was just like, I just want my baby to be okay. And but eventually he ended up coming home, of course. He's home now. They ended up just, they ended up saying it was just really a precaution to make sure everything was fine with him. So he was breathing with oxygen at first. They took him off that within the next day. Um, at first, he was in the intensive care unit on level 1, but they ended up moving him up within less than 12 hours. So I was just thanking God. I was like, I know my baby was going to be okay. He's already being moved out of the unit where they need intensive care, and he's already in the level 2 room. So that's perfect. And I was just always down there to see him. Now, the day that they discharged me, I was hoping that he was going to get discharged with me as well. But they did end up saying he had a few more tests to do before he could leave, and the doctor had to look at him just one more time. So that did break my heart because I had to leave without him. So when I went home, I was very distraught. I was crying. I was like, I don't want to annoy them and be steady calling to make sure he okay. But like, that's my baby. So once I had got home that night, I just went to sleep so I could hurry up and get him the next morning. So I went to sleep, and the next morning I went to go get him. He still wasn't ready because he had to wait for the doctor, and he had to do his hearing test and stuff. So I had went to Walmart to do some shopping for him, and then around 12, he was ready to go home, and I was just so excited, y'all. Like, I never knew or I never knew or thought to think about, the feeling of having a child in the NICU and stuff like that. But being able to take him home and get him out of the NICU, that does go down as one of the best days of my life, honestly, because like the stress and the amount of worrying that I was under and stuff like that, it just felt good to be able to take my baby home and bring him home and stuff because I was so worried. Like, I did not want to have him to stay in there at all because I know it's some babies that be in there for like weeks, days, and months. So it's like I was concerned that my baby would end up being one of them babies and stuff like that. And I pray for any mother who has to go through that because 10 days, weeks without, and then having to go and visit them and stuff like that. And even though the NICU is 24 hours, so they don't, like, it's no time that you just have to leave. But eventually you have other stuff to do and stuff. Like some people have other kids. Like I had my firstborn, I had to go pick up and tend to as well. So I pray and salute to mothers out there who have to deal with, premature babies who have to stay extended amounts of time in the NICU, because I can only imagine having to, like, yeah, I dealt with the few 56 hours or whatever, but for those mothers who have to deal with it for months and stuff, weeks, my salute and prayers go out to those mothers and those family members, because that can be very stressful, especially not knowing if anything changed with their baby. Like, unless they call, and you don't really want to get a call unless it's good news, because yeah. So that was pretty much my labor and delivery experience, y'all. It was, like I said, I was in labor for 24 hours with him, but my Pookie finally came out and he was able to come home after a while. Now, like I said, he is really little because he was born at 36 weeks. Now, at my doctor's appointment, my OB was telling me I was 36 weeks and 5 days. But when I got to the hospital, they were saying 36 weeks and 1 day. So that made me even more concerned a little bit, which kind of made me like, oh, I hope they can push it back. But I'm just happy he came out healthy and he came out completely okay. So he is currently being breastfed and bottle fed. Because in the NICU, while I wasn't there, they of course did have to give him formula milk. And in the beginning, I was definitely not pumping a lot of milk at all. Like, I would only get a few little drops of colostrum, and that was it the first few days. Don't cry, pumpkin. But now, y'all, when I tell y'all the last 2 days after breastfeeding and stuff, my boobs got so engorged and hard to the point I was crying. They got so heavy and they were so lumpy and hard to the point it was so painful, and they were so full of milk. It's like my body started producing, like, overproducing milk, and I'm like, bro, he doesn't even eat that much. Like, he's still so tiny, stomach still probably like DB, like. But the soiling and stuff has recently gone down as of today, which I'm so happy, because last night they were still hard and heavy, but they have gotten back to their little soft texture. Yes, they are still full of milk and be leaking. So I do breastfeed him. I didn't have much luck breastfeeding with my first baby because I didn't produce that much milk, and then he didn't latch as well. He latches good. Sometimes he has his issues. I mean, his moments where he has trouble finding and latching onto the nipple, but he's been doing overall so good with latching. So I just breastfeed him, and I also do bottle feed him as well. The doctor just recommended, try to do 15 minutes. Was time to eat 15 minutes on one boob and then the other, which I just be like, first of all, he don't even eat that much. So 15 minutes on both boobs, he is not about to do that, especially with how much milk be leaking up out of here. After 10 minutes on one boob, he be good. He be full, baby. He don't be wanting no more. He just be ready to burp. So, so I only really bottle feed him, like, if I need to. Like, say if it's taking him too long to latch, and he's getting frustrated, then I'll go ahead and just get him a bottle. Or when I can't breastfeed him and stuff, due to me having a pump, or just, let my milk, I'll go ahead and just give him a bottle. But yeah, so he's, getting both or whatever, but I gotta make sure to give him the liquid gold. I got to, cause he just so little. That my pumpkin. That my pumpkin. But another question a lot of people be asking me, how does, Jalen react to, having a new little brother? At first, he didn't really pay him no mind. He was just like, oh, okay, baby, y'all giving him attention, but I can't really do nothing with him. So yeah, he just kind of there. When he cries, like, say if he starts crying, Jalen would cover his ears, like, okay, yeah, this baby kind of loud, but okay. But he gets the concept that it is his brother, because I always talk to him as like, hey, can you throw this diaper away for your brother? Hey, give me your brother bottle. Hand me your brother binky. Da da da. Stop touching your brother swing. I have to tell him that a lot, because he likes to push it all aggressively and stuff. And I'm like, don't tear it up, please. Down. But overall, he gives him a kiss every now and then when I ask him to. Sometimes my baby is a stubborn Taurus, so sometimes when I be like, you want to kiss your brother? He be no. Like, he literally says no. Like, he can be a really iffy and stubborn Taurus. Like, I'm not gonna lie. But I haven't had to worry about him just being overly jealous or anything, or trying to hurt him or anything. Now he does, when he sees his umbilical cord, he does look at his shriveled up umbilical cord and just be like, ew, what's that? And he does try to take it off, which I be having to stop him and get him. So I always have to keep his clothes on and stuff, because when Jalen sees his umbilical cord, he be looking like, ew, like that's not supposed to be there. Let me go ahead and just try to get that for you. And I'll be having to get him, because no, don't, please. But yeah, that's pretty much it though, guys. I mean, I've just been enjoying my few days of being a mother now. I got both of my boys home, and yeah, just taking care of them, doing my schoolwork, which I'm actually about to do 2 quizzes once I go ahead and cut the camera off. So I love you guys. If you haven't commented, and subscribed to this video on my channel yet, go ahead and do so. What you waiting for? And if you guys have any other type of videos that y'all want me to do, let me know. I do apologize that I wasn't able to do the my water broke prank on my dad, because that would have been hilarious. But he decided to come on his own time, so I didn't even get the chance to do the my water broke prank on my dad, unfortunately. And the what's in my hospital bag, the last couple videos that I wanted to do, like I said, I wasn't able to do, so I do apologize for that, you guys. But if you guys have any other recommendations, of course, leave them in the comment below, or you guys can DM me on Instagram, or what type of videos y'all want to see. But we're gonna keep them coming. We're gonna keep them coming as often as I can, with being a mother of 2 and a student in college. And eventually I'm definitely gonna have to go back to work after my maternal leave. But yeah, that's all for this video, guys. I love you. Thank you guys for all the continuous support, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye.
No, no, no.